Hi, this is Czarina Salido. I'm on Sci-Fi Sisters, and you're listening to me right now.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sci-Fi Sisters podcast, where we give you our point of view. I'm Tamia Harper, and I'm joined today by my sisters, Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hello.
Sabrina Wood.
Whoop, whoop.
And Fran T.
What's happening?
Yay! So we're all together, and we have a really lovely, wonderful human being with us on the show today. We met her at Trek Long Island. We think she's amazing, and she's doing some incredible work. And she's the founder. You are the founder and director, right?
Correct. Founder and CEO, director, it's all the same, really.
Okay.
The boss.
The boss. She's the boss lady at Taking Up Space, and she's going to tell you all about it. Welcome, Miss Czarina Salido.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you for having me on, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we're going to let people know, let's just start off a little bit about what is Taking Up Space. And then, we want people to know what it is on the back, because when we met you guys at Trek Long Island, we just fell in love with this organization. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So as mentioned, I'm Czarina Salido. I am the CEO and founder of Taking Up Space. It's an astronaut-supported nonprofit that sends Native American girls to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, where they can train to be an astronaut. And also, before they get that, we teach them STEM for about 36 weeks, 64 weeks in total, 2 semesters. And after teaching them STEM, that's when they get awarded the scholarship to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama.
Wow. That's so cool. I know, right?
Amazing. That's pretty cool.
And it's 5 days long that they get to go to Huntsville, Alabama, where they get to do all the same simulations that the astronauts did back when they first went up to did space shuttle missions. And they get to do missions. They get to go on to Mars. At the end of their training, they actually turn on all the lights, so it's all orange out there. They have the exact same simulator, so they have to toggle through all the switches that astronauts have to toggle through, and they complete their mission. And it's pretty exciting to see kids start from nothing, at the beginning, they're really shy and timid, to the very end where they complete their mission and they get their scholarship and their degree up on stage, and they shake an astronaut's hand. So it's pretty exciting.
That's pretty cool. Wow. So how long, when did you found Taking Up Space?
So the nonprofit started about 8 years ago in 2014. My math's terrible. It's been a long time. But Taking Up, even though I'm a mathematician, Taking Up Space has been around for about 8 years. We had a lull during COVID. But that actually kind of helped us because we pivoted from being teaching in person to teaching on Zoom. So when we taught on Zoom, we got to reach out to a lot more tribes. There's 2 main tribes here. I'm speaking on Tohono O'odham land and Pasquayaki land in Tucson, Arizona. And that's who I was teaching, the tribes out here. But when we went on Zoom, we got to meet some girls from Cherokee, Oklahoma, Caddo, Apache in Oklahoma, Chickasaw in New Mexico, Alaska, we have Siberian Yupik. So we just got to expand. Minnesota, we have Coeur d'Alene, Ojibwe. So we really got to use something like COVID, something bad, to kind of open up our world a little bit. And so that actually gave us a lot of traction, and people have found out about us. So we were really small, just a local thing, to now we're more of a national organization.
That is so cool.
We got to go to Star Trek.
I know, right?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought it? That's pretty cool.
I got to meet you guys.
Is it boys and girls, and the age range for the kids that you're in your program?
It's just girls. And the age
Just
rate,
girls.
yeah. So girls around the time that they get to middle school, they lose interest in STEM. So boys, on the other hand,
yeah.
boys, on the other hand, they are interested. Actually, they're not as interested in STEM until they go to junior high and high school, where they get really involved in it. But girls, on the other hand, they start off really into science, really into doing, being little scientists, and then they hit middle school and they just kind of drop out. It's no longer as interesting, and we see a huge decline. So if you decline in middle school learning math and science, when you get to high school, you're kind of at a deficit. You've already behind. You didn't learn that, your algebra, your basic math to get to the next step in high school. So we're kind of found that there's a problem here in that. And how do we address this problem of girls not being interested in STEM? I started thinking that if we start in middle school, that would be good, because that's where the girls drop out. But as the statistic says, in middle school, they lose interest. So when I was trying to reach out to girls in middle school, I wasn't getting much traction at all. It wasn't until we moved to the year. So I go from 9 to 13, and so you have to get them before. So when they transition, you're kind of already teaching them the STEM. They're already into it, so that like next year they're going to come back and not get lost in that weird transition period. Today I heard it had something to do with brains not being formed complete, or brains changing during that time. A lot of hormonal changes.
Oh yeah.
They go through puberty and they
There's
just
middle
boys.
Especially girls. Yeah, especially girls going through all kinds of hormonal changes. Yeah.
And it doesn't help
everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't help that.
They already got way too much going on. They can't be dealing with math.
Exactly. And I think, Fran, you were going to say it doesn't happen as much to boys, right? Like
Well, I'm saying I don't think that the girls are encouraged either to do that.
This is very
true.
Yeah.
They're not encouraged.
No, they're encouraged to do.
Still, wow. I am going back to my college, and we're celebrating 50 years of co-education at the school that I went to. 50 years. And so I wasn't encouraged back then. I was hoping that now girls were getting encouraged, but you're telling me they're not still.
Well, look at my girls. If you're not encouraging them at home, they're not going to get encouraged at school. My girls were encouraged for science and math because of home. I made a decision, just like she's saying, that math was going to be a big part of their lives. Money, games, science. We did everything. I encouraged all of that from when they started reading. But that was a conscious decision. Yeah. Because like you, Sabrina, I wasn't encouraged. I liked math. I was really good at math.
I had to go to a specific school. I had to leave public school. Well, I had to leave the regular public school because like my mother put me in this other school, and I was really upset about it. So programs like yours, is what kids are looking for. Something, you got to go outside of the regular public school.
Unfortunately. So Sabrina, did your mom put you into another school because of math, or you went to another school and there was no STEM education?
No, I went to a school that had, I took physics in my high school. So
yes.
Yeah, we had it all. But I really love this program though. Thank you.
Physics, that you mentioned physics, it's something that I think as a middle school kid can learn physics. It's something, and right?
Yes.
So in my program, it's 3 years. In the beginning, it's pretty simple stuff. But by the end of the third year, I expect them to know physics. It's something that we
now.
Yeah. So I have very high expectations for my girls, and they surprise me at them meeting the expectations and then going even further.
Always.
So it's
Always.
right.
The minute you hit that bar, you show them what you expect. And if they buy into it, they will definitely always leap above it. So that's kudos to you. That's awesome. I just love that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because we all know the infamous letter that Mrs. Clinton, that Hillary Clinton sent, and she wanted to be an astronaut, and they wrote her back. And she kept the letter, and they said, "Look, girls are not allowed to be astronauts." Basically, is what the letter said. That was the response she got from NASA. So,
Wow.
and I know she's a boomer and all that, but she was flat out told no.
Yeah.
It was wrong then. It's wrong now.
It's wrong now. Yeah, it was wrong
So-
then.
Yeah, but they didn't even. They didn't even design the uniforms for women.
Right?
Well,
Right.
the Army was the same way. I mean, I was there in '93, and they still didn't have the bulletproof vest that I had to wear. Didn't even fit me because I was a woman. It only fit a man, and I walked around with all kinds of rashes under my neck because the Velcro was just too high up.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So when I think about that stuff, I think about all the stuff that when women go into men dominated fields, until recently, nothing, even wardrobe hasn't even changed when they want you to wear specific things. It just changed. I mean, like maybe 5 years ago, if it was that, right before COVID, everything started to change. When I got a bulletproof vest that fit a woman. I mean, really fit a woman. You know what I mean? With a breastplate and everything.
Contour to your
5 years ago.
5
years ago.
Well, I liked your picture on the website where all the kids have uniforms on and they look great. That's the best picture of all these kids wearing like spacesuits and they got the blue zip ups and the brown suits and they were like ready to do some science.
I want to ask Czarina, where did your love of space come from and where did this start for you?
For me, it came from, so I live in Tucson, and in Tucson, we are a dark sky community, meaning that our lights can't go between up to a certain wattage. So we have astronomy out here at the university. So when you look up at the sky, you see stars, just stars everywhere.
Wow.
And that's because of the low wattage as being a dark sky city. So just that alone, and back then also there wasn't as many lights as there are now, but just being able to look at it's a beautiful big sky out here. So there was that. And also my grandpa, we were talking about how as a mom, you guys instilled, and your mom, Sabrina and Yvette, how your mom's instilled math. My grandpa and I used to go out in the backyard and we used to just look at the stars and just look at the constellations. So having that time with my grandpa just really made me look up and just look at the big sky and just think of everything. I mean, you would hear stuff about there's more stars in the sky than there is sand on the beach, or we're all made of stardust, and it just when you look up at the sky, you just or look at clouds forming, you just wonder, things just start coming to you. And so my love of all of that came from being with my grandpa and just having that natural curiosity to look up and think about what is it up there. So I'm going to bring up something to you guys. So recently we had that hearing yesterday with the aliens.
Oh yeah.
Saw that. Oh my God.
I want to go here. What did you guys think?
I didn't even get to look. I really like.
I just love the way they just
it.
kind of passed over it. They're holding them, or they're withholding information, and then everybody just kind of blew right past it. We're not talking about that.
But at first, when I was I'm like, is this real? Is this a joke? What is this? What? Wait a minute.
I don't understand the whole thing myself.
Me neither. I'm like, wait a minute. Is he saying that we have ships? Is that what he said?
And from the first time was 19 in the 30s.
The 30s. He said
everything people have been saying has been true. They've been just telling us that
is that really what they said during the hearing? Because I didn't get to see any of this coverage.
I watched a little bit of it.
I saw some of it. Yeah, I looked at some of it.
The man said we are holding, the U.S. government is holding unidentified objects. And everyone said, and things. Right? And everyone go, and they it was quiet. And then everybody said, that's not true. And then that was it.
Wait,
no
okay, so the
don't
man is testifying and says,
Yes,
this is what's going on. And
Yeah.
then everybody else around him goes, oh, wait, no, that's not true.
The government came out and said that is not a true statement. I think that was the quote.
That was the end of it? Okay.
Yes, and that was
Interesting.
that was all
But
I
he-
heard.
He
I
said
don't know
there
if
were
there was
biological.
more, but in the news clip I saw, that was it. That was
But
like,
he
wait,
also said there was some biology involved, meaning there were other. He
Yeah.
said
Yeah,
what?
that.
Did
that
say
was-
biology.
Yeah,
Wow.
he actually said, I'm like, okay,
Right?
wait a minute, they got some beans? Are we talking about fungus?
Right.
What?
What is
Are we
happening?
talking? What
Wait,
does that mean?
I
Is it
still don't
fungus?
know
Is it
why this
what?
happened. Why did this?
I don't either.
Why did this happen? Why did they pick
Why
him?
was he testifying?
Why did they pick him to testify?
testify.
Right.
That's
If he's not going to toe the party line, like if the party
Right.
line is like we're not going to say anything, then yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I believe them.
I gotta
the
go back
crazy
and watch
thing
this
is, I
stuff.
heard it, but I kind of thought it was a joke.
I did too at first.
But then I kind of, in the back of my head, as I'm going about I'm like, wait, was that real? And I just kind of went on to my
So,
day. And then
Serena,
you brought it up. I was like, wait a minute, that's right. I forgot about that.
Did you watch it too, Serena?
I've watched a couple minutes of it, and there was somebody behind him that was like agreeing with him the whole time, like, and then he was talking, and it was just like he believes it, like he believes himself, and it's I don't understand how. I guess okay, so now we have UAPs, unidentified aerial
Yeah, what the new
phenomenon.
Yeah, phenomenon. Yeah.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon, and I guess that happened because enough people are asking about it, and I guess enough people who have financial means, because right, if there's no money here, then nobody would listen to you, but somebody's got to have some sort of money somewhere to be putting this putting this out there, and to see if and somebody with money must really believe that this stuff is true or something.
It's that guy in Contact, that rich guy in Contact.
Right?
The one with the building that built the ship.
Everything we were talking about is real.
Right.
The
Did any of your kids
conspiracies
watch
are
it? Did any
correct.
of your kids see it? Were they talking about it? Were any of your kids talking about it from any of your
No,
children?
I'm curious though. So I take a break.
Don't scare them.
Yeah. Well, we talk about ghosts a lot since I do teach Native American kids, and there's a lot of interesting stories when it comes to indigenous culture, and there's a lot of beliefs in different stuff. So I just taught at a place that was supposedly haunted. My cousin works there, and she's heard she's got I've never felt anything. So when I started my lesson, and I wanted them to let them know and creep them out a little bit. And I was like, just want you to know that this place is haunted, but I don't believe in ghosts. So I make it a little confusing for them, right? So that way, I'm a scientist, so I don't believe in this stuff. However, let's listen for ghosts, right? Let's go walk around.
Haunted, y'all.
Right? It's haunted, y'all. I know it. So, I kind of walk a line that crosses both sides, even though
Most of us do.
It's just something that we haven't been able to explain yet. That's what
I
it is.
say. Yeah.
there's so
Just
many
like
human
that
stuff.
guy.
Just like that guy.
He's like, I'm getting this out here. Y'all gonna listen to me.
And he was talking his behind off.
Yeah. Like she said,
was
he
he, though?
believed it.
Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Because
I'm really gonna
He
find
was a
out.
military. He was a military person.
That's what I
Yeah,
wondered.
he definitely
Yes.
worked for the military.
He did
Definitely, that was his job. He was there for a reason. He was somebody that knew something.
It was the Enterprise. It was yesterday's.
So, I mean, I thought
Yesterday's Enterprise.
they said that. I know. Well, you know what I thought of? I thought of Little Green Men.
Yes,
I thought
yeah,
of
that's
Deep
what I
Space
thought.
Oh
Nine.
my
Green
God!
Man.
Yes.
They got him.
but-
They got him in Arizona.
Yeah, but I just wonder. Oh shoot! I was gonna say something, and now it's gone.
Gonna get
Oh
us
my
back
God.
on track.
Please, sorry. I had to.
Oh, it was
happened
all about.
yesterday.
I know it's totally not on track. It was all about because a bunch of pilots have come forth
Oh yeah.
and are
that's
talking
right.
about all the stuff that they're seeing, and there's more and more and more fighter pilots and test pilots what was that? What did we just see? Like, and I did see that report like a couple of months ago.
Oh yeah.
That like they're investigating, they have the committee and it's all about the UAPs and like, because like there's just so many reports coming through now.
It's Captain Christopher.
But you know, to how arrogant human beings must be if they think. Yeah. If they think, now I've never seen any aliens, and I'm not proposing that, you know, I've been probed or anything like that.
But why you go straight to probe, though?
Because that's what they do. That's what they do. They say, yeah, I've been, they took me on the tip and I was probed.
They do?
A probe is going to come out that
Quaid in a minute.
way, you know? But no probing here. So, but how arrogant for us as human beings to think that in this vast space that we have, that we can be the only sentient beings around. And I don't have any proof. Some people know, but I think it's arrogant. He does.
Oh, he does.
I don't know where he is now.
Right.
We haven't seen him since. We haven't seen him since, have we?
Unemployment office.
I think he's still employed, but I don't think he's still with us.
Get transferred.
Oh Lord.
Get transferred.
All right.
I think
I'm gonna bring it. Huh?
I was talking with Fred. I think there's two things. So the question about how can we be so arrogant to think that, but then again, like I understand that, but then I'm like, this is such a weird, cosmic, crazy way that we came about that it seems for something like this to happen again would be like so astronomically slim,
right.
and that it could like to have like sentient beings would be like really difficult. But at the same time, like you said, it's like, how arrogant can we be in this huge, vast universe to think that we are the only sentient beings? It's just, I actually struggle a lot with that. And when, like, I can never.
Well, there can be other life forms that don't have to be carbon-based.
Yeah.
But it's such a big, I mean, everything that, like she said, everything that's happened to us, how we got here is just so perfect. Like we perfectly got here. Everything works perfectly, and we all work together. Everything works together. And for that to happen someplace else just seems like, it's not close, to, like, it would have to be the same situation. The sun would have to be the same. Mm-hmm. The planet would have to be the same distance from their sun. The one moon, all of that stuff would have to all be the same.
But you know what I think is right, and that's what I think is so interesting about like having discussions like this is because it's often framed by our concept of what we think life is, right? And there could be sentient life created under other conditions that looks nothing like us, and I think that like that's the part that's really cool and interesting to me,
But
I mean, although I hear,
right? Yeah,
Star Trek has affected like my thoughts about like what could an alien look like, because I've been watching it so long, like since I was a child, right? Mm-hmm. And then because of budgetary constraints and a lack of technology, every alien I saw was also bipedal, like looked just like a human, except for their face was weird and different, and then I started reading Octavia Butler. And I think she really blew the lid off for me, the possibilities of what alien really is, like in a bunch of her series. And I mean, her character, they were just truly alien concepts of life that I had not even considered. And I was like, now that I could see, like, that makes me think like I could see, it makes sense. I could see this developing, this type of life form developing in another atmosphere on another world,
in another kind of way.
Yeah. In another kind of way. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's good. That's good stuff. That's good sci-fi stuff. That's good stuff right there. Huh?
Get your kids with stuff like that. Huh?
Yeah. I'm I'm 60 something, and I remember looking up at night in the stars before all this light pollution we got. And I remember I was so proud of myself. It always was the same thing. I could pick out the Big Dipper. I could pick out the Little Dipper. And there were so many stars in the sky, when I was a little girl, and I could just look up at night. And it was fascinating. And the North Star and all. I could pick all that stuff out. I can't see nothing
I have my
now.
star chart right here.
I'm
all the time.
I can't see anything now because of the light pollution, and they're still there.
Stars.
It's like lightning bugs. Remember lightning bugs?
I do.
I'm looking at them every night.
Yeah, I got them everywhere.
No more.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I got a ton of lightning bugs out in our yard.
Well, not here. We don't have any more. I mean, you may see, if I see one, it's like a miracle. Like if I see a cluster of stars, stars,
And you live by the water, and you would think you would see more.
Yeah, no.
It's all ports, though.
It's a lot of light pollution here.
Okay.
So, I mean, you have great sunsets and sunrises over the water, but no stars.
Oh, wow.
I miss that about out west, though. That was one thing I loved about living out west is that, that sky that you were talking about, it does, you can't help but be filled with awe and wonder and, and also those really, really tall trees, like in Colorado in California, and they had these really, really tall trees, and you look up through them and you'd see all these stars. It's just amazing. I envy that. I really miss that. We're going to have to come. Sci-Fi Sisters are going to have to take a trip out to Arizona and visit you.
Yeah. Go.
Love
A good star party. That would be so. We have astronauts out here. And so we could do some fun stuff. But Fran, it's like you were saying though, that joy you would get by knowing the same one. That's the Big Dipper. That's the Seven Sisters. You're always the same ones. You're like,
always the same
Orion's
ones,
bells, right?
Right, Orion's bells.
The same ones. But you just get so happy knowing, I know that star.
I know that star. I know that.
We used to wake up in the middle of the night or at 3:00 in the morning, whenever something, some science thing would happen in the stars. I would get the girls up, and that was part of that, getting them really interested in science and everything. We used to get up in the middle of the night. We'd go in the backyard. We had a telescope, or we could, they made something at school where you look through it. I forgot what it was, they made something, and they encouraged the kids to go out and look. And we did that. We all woke up, and like Fran said, I could see the wonder, in their faces. They were like, yeah, I know, I can see that. I know that, so I'm, when I think of that, I think about how your girls must feel about, that wonder of being part of such a grand universe and not feeling too small anymore, just feeling like they belong. They're part of that. I know that's how I used to feel when I was a kid and could find Orion's belt.
I think so. I think also with the Native American culture too. So the girls have surprised me. Most of the girls know how to use a bow and arrow. They all have little rifles, they all are hunters and know how there's stories about the girls being afraid of Sasquatch and running up a tree and having her little, and she's 8 at the time and having her little rifle from her grandpa. So really cute stories about the wonder of that all. What was it? Something I wanted to go back on was the moms. I interviewed John Harrington, and John Harrington was the first Native American in space, and he went back to school to get his dissertation, and he wanted to know what helps Native Americans learn, what is it that can propel them to do better, and in his studies, he found out that it was the support of a mom. Not of a father, support of a female figure. Okay. So not of a father, it was support of having a female figure in science, in STEM. That's what got them to be more excited about it. So, right? Okay. So
well, I guess that's encouraging. Yeah.
It has, And that's just his study, and this is just one person's, dissertation. But that's what he found, specifically in the Native American culture that he was looking at, which is he is Chickasaw, so he was looking at Chickasaw families. So female pushing their student, whether it was a boy or a girl, it had to do with the mom or the female figure pushing them to go into the sciences.
That's amazing.
Wonderful. Isn't that amazing?
So we need some females out there that are willing to talk about their love of science, or talk about their love of math. I mean, it feels really nerdy sometimes when, I say, I love math. And I talk to, it's like all the students look at me like.
Talking to 4 nerds.
Right? But when you're talking
to yourself.
I'm claiming it now.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when you
I'm
say
a freaking accountant. How much more nerdy can I
counting.
be?
Oh, yeah. I love counting, though. There's something, for me, like, I like to count things. It's just something kind of peaceful and it's like meditative. Yeah, it's like meditative to me just to count.
Yeah. Well, I want to I think that's such a powerful thing that you learned. I mean, like when we met you at Trek Long Island, you were accompanied by Captain Star Eagle, right?
Yes.
Can you tell folks a little bit about her and what she's doing with you guys as well?
Yes. So Captain Star Eagle is an amazing person. She is the first Native American captain in the Space Force. Now, the Space Force is something new that just came out recently. It's adding to protecting space. So there's a lot of things that people who listen to this podcast probably know, like space junk. Like space junk is a huge deal. It's all over the place. There's like pieces just floating that we need to that can hit like the ISS or can hit something and cause a big damage. There's a little piece of foam off of one of the shuttles that hit a heat tile, and it was a little piece of foam, but you were going at these speeds straight up, and it caused severe damage to the tile that they weren't too sure when they entered the atmosphere if they were going to survive. And that's just so, imagine all the gunk out there with all of our satellites out there. So, so also treaties and space laws. So right now there's like people are wanting to know like who's the moon. We're going back to the moon. Yep. There's all sorts of robots right now on Mars. Like tons of robots on Mars that we don't even think about it. But there's like robots right now that are just going around Mars, picking up samples. And so the Space Force is something like that will deal with questions like whose property is this? Are we colonizing Mars? And if we do, I know, I hate that word, but they are talking about like if we go up to Mars, who owns the stuff we go out there? If we go to the moon right now, a meteorite is worth more than gold. So, I mean, who knows what kind of materials are on asteroids or meteors. So all this stuff right now is big questions. And so Space Force came along. And so Captain Star Eagle is looking at, I think I could say this. Things with Captain Star Eagle are current and happening right now, so I don't know how much I can actually say about what she does.
Don't say too much.
Right? So I don't want to say too much, but she's
there.
She's there, and she's protecting us and protecting our skies. And there's reason for there to be. Some people argued, like, should this be part of the Air Force? Should this, I know some Navy people, like, this should be part of the Navy, but it seems like there is a definite need for some sort of laws, some sort of treaties, some sort of protection, just in general, up in space right now.
In space.
It's definitely needed. I wish I was young enough. I definitely would have.
Oh, girl, we would be in there.
I would have been in Space Force in a minute. You hear me?
Right? But she does some exciting stuff. But like I said, I don't know what I can say and what I can't say.
No, you can't say anything.
you breaking that and say, bam, I'm here, y'all.
That's right.
But I will say, but what she does is she gives the girls something to look forward to, something to look at. When she started off her career, Space Force wasn't around. She wants to be an astronaut, and hopefully she will become an astronaut. But a lot of times when you're teaching STEM, you want to teach them that the careers that they're going for are careers that don't exist yet.
Yes.
So how do we
Yes.
prepare, right? So how do we
Yes.
prepare our kids
Yep.
for stuff that isn't here yet?
Mm-hmm.
STEM,
Mhm.
math, science, arts, we give them some critical thinking skills.
Yep.
And in the end, that's kind of like all we can do for our kids is have them think, have them critically think, and hopefully use something like science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and art to help them figure out the big ideas that we'll be needing for our kids to do when they're in the future. And who knows what they're going to be doing up in
Right.
space, right? If they'll be
Exactly.
on Mars or...
Well, and I think about this now, like, these mega corporations that we have on Earth right now, that are all becoming more and more like fewer and fewer companies owning more and more things. Like they're already there. Like we're the ones who have to catch up, right? And I think I always think where does that leave Black and brown people in the
At a
future,
deficit?
right? It's super right at a huge deficit. It's super scary. Like, if this planet goes to pot, which everybody's banking on, which is why we're putting so much money into exploration and terraform and learning about terraforming and trying to make it feasible for us to live on another planet, either whether it be like needing the moon, we need the moon as settled so we can get to the other planets. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to colonize the moon for it. Right. And so we got to have like territories, like who's got the water, who's got the breathable air, who's got the construction contracts, who's going to be up there building this stuff, all of these things. Like we are not involved in these conversations. It's the more of us that we can get into avenues or areas where we can be involved in these conversations, the better off we are, because guess who's going to be stuck back here on flaming earth. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because I have a friend right now who is working at NASA, and she has a laser that they're shooting at monoglyph. It's like fake moon stuff, because they can't actually use moon stuff, and they're shooting this laser to see if they can get water or oxygen, any type of oxygen out of it, like O2, any type of thing. And so they're finding study just came out, so I can't talk about this one because I just happened to. They're finding that there's stuff coming out of this monoglyph that when they shoot the laser in it, I think they're getting water out of it. So right, so who's gonna
sounds like for all mankind.
Who's going to have the rights to this stuff? And how, you said, who's going to be stuck down here without the skills to... We've seen so many movies like that, right?
Right? Yeah. So many books, so many movies.
District 9?
Man. So many books, so many movies.
Yeah, we're going to be here with, we'll be Ready Player One, just still hanging out.
Ready Player One.
But we will.
On our cell phones.
Yeah.
I mean, so Elon Musk, that's the SpaceX, and he's out there, and we all know he doesn't have the best of intentions, just from what he's done to Twitter. We've seen his ego and how awesome we were. So I was so into Elon with bringing up the spaceship and bringing it down, but he's got some ideas that I'm scared of, right?
Oh, yes.
And he's people look up to him. So I think
he's great. I'm like, oh man.
We have to kind of stick together, as brown and black people, fellow, and to be
to
how are we
survive.
good to survive? Seriously, people like that are scary, and they're out there and they have the money. And so we gotta I mean, I don't want to sound alarm, but cult following. Oh, those are scarier. I mean, Elon Musk is already, we know, but that the cult followers who think that he can do no wrong.
Oh yeah,
they ought to look at X.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even get me started on that. When I saw it, I was like, X, really?
I couldn't believe it either.
I'm like,
but did he just steal that from
Malcolm?
From Malcolm?
No. Well, yes.
Yes, we say Malcolm.
No, the way it's. I mean, the actual graphic is exactly the same as Windows X. He just made it black. It's the same exact thing.
God, it is.
It's so stupid.
It is all dumb. But that's what's scary is this guy's got money, and this guy's part of the 1%, you know,
Yeah.
10%, what is it? 3%? What is it?
Yeah.
1%.
If it's that much.
1%.
1%.
Yeah.
1%.
That's
Yeah.
scary stuff that we gotta kind of like help our kids in our future, like know that this stuff is out there and it doesn't always have to be good. Like it doesn't have to, or it doesn't have to be bad necessarily. There necessarily doesn't always have to be a morality placed on it. But when you have to do it, like
they need to know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, even if you have a uber genius who can, you know, reuse a rocket, that's it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
What else
I
can
mean,
he
it's
do?
just it's a lot,
what else
you
can
know?
he do?
I think you know, I give so much props to your organization, and you know, we just had on recently Nichelle Nichols' sister and her two nieces from the Nichelle Nichols Foundation, and they're also sending young girls to space camp as well. And you know, so like we are big supporters of, you know, of these
Girls in
efforts,
STEM.
of both of your efforts, you know, the girls in STEAM, you know, and especially and particularly in space camp, you know, I mean, like if we Star Trek framed our philosophies, like all of us like have this Star Trek philosophies at our core, which is why we got to know each other and how we started loving each other. And but you know, to get a utopia, which I don't believe we can, but to even strive for it, you know, we have to do this type of groundwork. Like this is where it comes, that, you know, it starts like, to be able to believe that, Nyota Uhura can exist in the future. Like we got to create these little Uhuras, you know, we got to give them opportunity. So that's why we have so much respect for what you're doing and, for taking up space. So this is really wonderful. So I want to let you ask you how, sorry, Fran, what you got?
No, I was going to say, look at Mae Jemison. The reason why she became an astronaut, Jemison. Mae Jemison. Dr. Mae Jemison. The reason she became an astronaut was because of
astronaut, female.
Because of Uhura. Because of Nichelle Nichols, that she saw Uhura. Atlas Kurtzman have told that story, and so has she. She saw Uhura on the screen. Uhura. And she became an astronaut, first Black female in space.
So I want to ask you, Czarina, like how can our listeners help support taking up space?
Well, if you go onto our website, which is taking-up-space.org, you can donate through PayPal. And we get all of our donations through PayPal because PayPal is one of the only services that doesn't charge a fee. It takes a month for us. Yeah, and that's why we do it. It's like the only we looked through all of them. They all charge like whether it's 1% or whatever percentage is
money away.
Exactly. So I'm willing. PayPal, you have to wait 30 days to get it, but I'm willing to wait that 30 days because I don't like having people's donations go to something like PayPal. So all of it's a volunteer organization. No one that comes in, not Captain Star Eagle or NASA Blasty, who blasts the stuff. They all are just. Oh, my green screen went out. It's all volunteer. Everyone volunteers to this. We have big support from space hipsters, and so many people just volunteer their time. William Tiger is my mentor. I have to tell you, William Tiger is an elder. And this is so Native American. His big advice to me when I had this huge crisis, you know, to me it was huge, you know, my world. And he says, so Indian, he says, follow your heart and follow your instinct. That's his advice. So I'm like, you know, give me something solid. Give me. So I just wanted to offer that to you all. My elder's advice is follow your heart and follow your instinct. And you'll be surprised at how far you can go if you follow those two things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I love that.
I truly believe that. That is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is profound, as they say.
It is, but
I love
it's
it.
like, sometimes you just want some solid answers, like don't do this or do this.
Don't do that, but no.
But
those are head answers. So
yeah. But if you follow your heart and your instincts, I think you'll be surprised, as he said, you'll be surprised how far that'll take you.
Yeah.
And so this nonprofit has taken me to so many wonderful places. I got to meet you guys. I got to go to Star Trek convention and give a talk. I'm going to be in the ACES magazine coming up. I got to meet William Shatner and hang out at the horse charity show.
Wow.
Yes, the astronauts that come and help and support our nonprofit. So our patches are.
Tell us about the patches.
I love that logo.
Yeah, this logo is my favorite, of course. Well, but it's I like it because we added a lot of cultural references to the Native American girl's dress, and then this has the reference like to Space Camp with the 3 stars, and so we have this badge that we sell, and then we also have like. This is Fred Hayes. This is the one that you guys saw a lot. This is why we got invited to Star Trek convention, was because of this patch, because he flew on the Enterprise, which also happens to be.
Okay.
Yeah, they had an Enterprise, a space shuttle called the Enterprise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
it was
so
the first
cool.
one. They changed the name. It was something else, and they changed it to.
I think they did. Actually, they had.
They did.
And
remember.
so,
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that's my Enterprise one. So we sell patches as fundraisers, and so they come. So if they're expensive.
You guys, these patches are really beautiful. Like I wish we were video so you guys could see them, but maybe we'll be able to. We'll definitely have links up to all this stuff on the.
Definitely.
Yes, so our patches are that's how we make our donations, and so we have astronauts, or our last patch was made by Patrick Mullane is the son of Mike Mullane, and Patrick was asked when he was a little kid to make a patch for his dad when he flew up to space. The patch never got made, and he drew this little design until this year, where we took we took his design and made it into a patch. Nice. And we made like $10,000 off of his patch. So it's a big money maker. We have special guests that we'll have in the fall. We have one, but I can't tell you who it is yet.
Okay,
I asked.
She's got a lot of secrets. This is a woman with secrets.
That's right. That means you just have to come back when you can tell it, and and then we can blab all about it.
Yes, that would be awesome. I love talking to you guys. It's fun. It's fun talking to women who are like-minded, who are into the same sort of stuff, and appreciate what it means to be a woman in STEM. Yeah. And to have those role models, like we talked about, of having that first, on TV, a black Captain Uhura, or not Captain Uhura. What was her?
Well, she did end up being captain of
She was lieutenant. She was a lieutenant.
She was a lieutenant.
To have you guys have this podcast, to have 4 strong black women talking about sci-fi. What? That's even like really?
Well, we had to kind of, since they didn't want to let us go at that table, we made our own freaking table. This is our table, and you're always welcome.
Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. It was nice to be at your table. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'll fix you some collard greens maybe one day.
Sci-Fi Sistas. Yes, I know.
Sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, well,
I'm trying to keep us on track a little bit, Fran.
If you come to the table, I'm going to feed you.
If you come to our cookout.
Ways than one.
I like it.
I love it.
I know whose store I'll be visiting too.
Fran's going to be bringing the collard greens. And we'll be down. Okay. Anyway, I got stuck. I'm so hungry right now. I really got stuck on Fran's collard greens because they're so good.
Wow.
So good. Okay. So, Sci-Fi Sistas listeners, what I was going to say is that I really want y'all to hopefully open up your pocketbooks and help this organization, because it's really phenomenal. And, if we could send one girl to camp, how much does it cost to send one girl to camp?
a lot. It's $1,500 for one person for registration, and then we also pay for their airplane ticket because, we don't want to burden the families with their flight, and so it comes out to about $2,100. It was $2,000 per student, but now Space Camp raised the price
of course
3 times. I know, right? 3 times since I've started.
Yeah,
it's been 6 years, and like every other year they've been raised. It started off at 1,000, now it's 1,500. So makes me mad. Makes me mad.
2,100 too.
Yeah.
One girl there.
Yeah, to get one girl. So if you guys want to sponsor a girl, we're always looking for sponsorship, or if anyone wants to say like, my money went for this person to go, we take that too.
I love that. That. So y'all hear that, listeners. They're looking for sponsors. We got the money. We know y'all Trekkie little wallets run deep. So open them really up, nice please.
Patches. These patches are beautiful. You Star Trek people will love these patches.
Those patches are
I'm
dope.
getting one of those patches.
I know, right?
They're pretty cool.
I know,
I do too.
They're made by the same people that make the NASA's patches too. So they're the highest quality available to us.
I have the Artemis patch. I got that. That's my last patch that I just got. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I thought she said Artemis.
Artemis.
I'm sorry.
No, that's not what I said.
Next time, Serena, next time you come back, we have to talk about time and cosmology because we didn't even get to that.
That's another story for another day.
We might have some links for that too, you guys, so you guys can do your own investigations. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. It's really cool to talk to you. You are such a light, and I'm so grateful that I know, right? It got dark over there.
That's those ghosts.
We're so grateful that you're doing. I know, right? These some ancestors hearing you talk about some stuff.
That's right. That's right.
So grateful that you're doing the work that you're doing, and we just want to say thank you so much.
My relations. Thank you. My relations.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
I love that.
Yvette, can you tell people where to reach us if they have thoughts about this show and sending people out to space or little green men or anything else that we talked about today?
Patches. Okay. You can find us at SyFysistas.com. That's SyFysistas.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the Sci-Fi Sisters Book Club, both on Facebook. On Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, sci-fi.sisters. And we're also on the Twitter at Sci-Fi Sisters. Become a patron of Sci-Fi Sisters today at patreon.com/Sci-Fi Sisters. The Trek Geeks Network's presenting sponsor is Fansets. Go to fansets.com for pins and memorabilia from all your favorite franchises. Visit fansets.com and use Trek Geeks, all caps, for your exclusive 10% discount. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
And of course, I got to give a shout out to the baddest engineer in any and all universes is Dose the Anonymous One.
Dose.
See, I didn't talk over his music this time. I'm so proud of myself. He's responsible for all the music you hear on our show, as well as our engineering, production. Thank you. That's the word. So if you need his skills, and not my skills, because I can't talk, hit him up on Instagram at dose_the_anonymous_1. And that's it for us this week, y'all. We love you very much. Peace, love, and hair grease.